Now then, and welcome back to another episode of Forever Stranded, Stranded with Nemsun. Welcome back. Now, this series is going on for a very long time, and with great reason, because it's an awesome little package. It's an awesome little mod pack. I'm loving it. I'm thinking it's great. And I'm enjoying what I'm building over here as well. The big greenhouse over here is going to be surpassed by a great big factory over here. But that's not what I'm doing this episode. I'm not building the factory this episode. However, I do have an idea already in place, which I'll maybe show you at the end. What I'm planning on doing today is building something for Forestry farms. And I think it was looking at one of the cities the other day, the big domed cities, that gave me an idea. But just before we go off and start working on that, check all this out. What do you think? I rearranged. I did have everything all cluttered up into this area here, didn't I? And then we went and we got all the presses, all 4 presses available to us. I started by thinking I'll get 4 inscribers, 1 with each press, and I'll automate it and all that kind of stuff. And then I realised I haven't really got a lot of space in here, and I'm not really sure I want to go through the process of making it all automated, because that took me weeks to get all of applied logistics automated with crafting cells to do everything for me, to literally auto craft. I could literally come into the AE terminal anywhere in the world and I could just pull out anything applied logistics that I wanted. But it's looking pretty cool. I'm liking the layout, just sticking to each side and having it kind of like a crafting zone. I'm eventually going to build the factory out properly. So you see that factory over there, I'm eventually going to build that factory out properly. Probably over the weekend, actually. I've got some plans for the weekend. I'll do that. But inside the ship, I kind of just want a quick, like, every machine I need so that I can craft new things. Not, like, bulk crafting. I don't want bulk crafting and bulk production. That's going to be what a big factory's for. Automated production that feeds into the AE system. I've got an input chest. I've got an input chest. White. Which allows me to send anything back to the AE system that I want, through either the ender pouch or through any white chests. Will just come back, and there's an import bus just there that will import straight from it into all the various AE drives. And then I've got an export bus on here, which is currently set as double capacity, so I can have 9 things, and that's going to be exporting into the food chest. So occasionally I'll get a few bits and pieces, like the odd potato or carrot or something dropped as a mob drop, that'll end up getting thrown into here. And if I don't want it, then I'm going to set it up to feed out and go over to the storage at the greenhouse over there. just to be lazy, just make it go quick. I've got some underfloor cables coming from this section here, underfloor to this power bank, which then gets converted into an AE power bank, and then the whole AE system is kind of a multi-block structure. And then this controller here means that that's one multi-block structure connected to that side of the controller, and on this side of the controller we're going to have a whole nother multi-block structure available, and I got plans for that as well. I got plans. I've been making lots of plans while I've been playing around with the mod pack, and the first plan that I want to do is going to be revolving around making some of these. I want to make a forestry tree farm. Alright, so we're back over here. And what I was thinking of doing, is taking one of these domes and moving a dome over, or maybe 1 or 2, maybe 3 domes, and moving them over to the greenhouse area. Now, the dome is made of normal glass, and I want to keep the original kind of feel for the place. I don't really want to set it up a little bit higher. I don't want to set it up out of the ground like this. I don't want a dome sitting on top of anything, although that might look pretty cool in my base. Now I'm thinking I'm just going to have a dome like this, that I'm going to put a forestry tree farm in, and maybe some bees and stuff like that inside a dome. And the way I'm going to carry this on, because there's no real way of making domes in the pack without just knowing how to make a dome, I am going to use my old friend and pal Schematica. I so much like Schematica. So useful for all sorts of things. Let's just take that right up into the air. I guess that's far enough. I don't know. Maybe a little bit more. So bring it up a little bit more. Let's go here. That's going to be more than enough. And is it in the right kind of place? I think it might be. Let's go and put something in over the other corner, just to be sure. We're going to need something around about here. A blue around about here. So we'll put the blue point in there and make that go into the ground. Okay, so blue point, you need to be coming this way a little bit. That's that way a little bit, so we can see that's lined up with that edge. And are you lined up with this edge yet? Nope. So let's bring you this way. That way. There we go. Okay, so now blue's lined up perfectly with that edge there and that edge there. And this covers the top area. Yes. So I just kind of need to level this up now as well. Just to make sense of it, just to make it easier to maneuver around a bit. Right, that to that, to that, to that, to that. So that goes into there, and this one nearly there, nearly there. And this one, not that, no, that. Yes. Okay, that's good. So now, when I save a copy of this, I had to download schematic as separate, of course, because it's not part of the pack. So you have to download it separate and install it into your folders and all that kind of stuff. Let's not have the cactus here, so let's take those out. Right, but once you've got it, trees will also get copied by it. But then I can do this as a save, and I'm going to do it as tree farm. Tree farm. Right, save that. That's now saved it into my schematics folder, where it will sit nicely next to the other thing that I want to show you at the end, tree farm there, and it will now be producible when I get back to base. So now when I've got it home, all I need to do is kind of move that copy across, load up the schematic, move it around a little bit, try and get it in exactly the right place that I want it. I think I want it forwards, yeah, because this is going to be factory section, so this needs to be the dome. I'll put the dome in this little space here. I can put it wherever I want, really, but let's just see. No, that's the wrong way down. I want to come this way a ton. Let's bring it as far forward as we can. Let's kind of line it up over here, though. So we're getting it in this corner. I'm lining up with that corner of this. So let's go one across, or should we stick to that? Depends on the other side, I suppose. How close is the other side to that? Oh, it's kind of uneven, isn't it, if I do it that way? Okay, and how far am I messing about with that if I do it the other way? Okay, well, I still want the path to go past it, so I guess that is the closest it can be. And it's not too far out, because that was a chunk line there, so it's going to be within the chunks as well. That's just chunk border there, look, yeah. So that's going to be within the chunk border. Perfect. It's inside the chunk borders. It's actually halfway between the chunk borders nearly as well, isn't it? If we move things across a little bit, we can get that virtually across 4 chunks. And then this side, we're within the chunk borders, and we've got that there as well. Awesome. So that is what I'm doing to set this up. Now, how far away from this I want it? I don't want it that close, do I? Definitely don't want it that close. Let's go at least to there, I suppose. So we can cut all of that bit out and start building around there. Okay. Yeah, I think I like that. I don't particularly need to have a cactus wall around it either. It kind of goes into the cactus wall here, and I can build glass instead of cactus around here. That works. And then out here it's kind of just outside the wall anyway, which will just change the wall to have the wall running into that cactus there, or running into that wall there. So I'll change my cactus wall and leave the dome exposed to the elements. Why not? I don't need a cactus wall around a dome, do I? And it's a similar sort of height to my greenhouse as well. And I do have a planned schematic for something that's going to come out to here. The factory is going to come out and fill this whole space here. So that'll be sort of symmetrical. Well, I say symmetrical. It's not going to be symmetrical because it's going to be a factory. It's going to be equal length anyway. And then I've got this section for the runway. I think it's going to look good. So now all I have to do is tell it to build. And all it's going to do to build is we just tell it to printer on. And it should start trying to place glass. There we go. And so long as I've got it in my inventory, it will place it for me. And that will very quickly build up a nice little bit of a glass greenhouse. So, yeah. And it even breaks the cactus for me. Look at that. It's even breaking cactus for me. Just to put that in the right perspective as well. Awesome. There we go. Good. I love Schematica. I love Schematica. It makes my job so much easier. Just sometimes I can use things that I've already done previously, or things that I've built, or things that I found online that fit the purpose, and just kind of bring them into my world, or move things around my world to adjust things. Bring things in from previous seasons, like I might take a copy of this from the map and then use that again sometime. I designed it this series, I might use it again in a next series. The item that I'm going to be showing you over here, the factory, is actually something I used in a previous series, which we'll take a look at in a bit. But first, I need to gather all the glass that I'm going to need. I'm going to need tons of glass here, aren't I? I'm going to need to gather all the glass and start building out this dome. So now all I should have to do is just get all of the bits and pieces that I need to build a farm of this kind. So you start off with farm blocks. Farm blocks are using tin electron tubes, some copper, a stone bricks and some slabs to make this farm block. That's the essential part of everything. You need a gearbox, which is a farm block with some gears, and that will allow it to receive power from an external source. You need a hatch, which is a couple of gears and a trapdoor, and that will give it the ability to put stuff in and out of the farm. So I'm going to need an in and an out, or I'm going to need an in out. Depends how you look at it. It depends what I use it for as well, actually. And then there's a valve. I'm going to need water going into the farm, so there's a farm valve for water, an input output gearbox, water, and there's potential that I have a control as well, like a farm on and off button, which I will not be able to do apparently because I need a golden I need a golden tube. I'm going to make one anyway because I haven't shown you how this works. Right, for a start, you have to make the recipe you want. Okay, and the recipe I want is like so, with a little bit of that. Right, that's the recipe to make the tubes. You put glass in here and that melts it down to make molten glass. It uses a bit of power up to do all this generation, and then it does this. Okay, so I only want it to do one, so I'm going to take the rest of my ingredients out that would be making this, so that it won't make another 4. I don't want it to make any more after that. Okay, and then we can just leave that like that. Take these and these away. Let these all just disappear off into here now. That one goes into there, and throw all that away. Awesome. And then we've got a farm controller. Okay, that should be what I need there. I also need a water supply, which is not easy, but we can do infinite water now. We can do infinite water for things like this using a transfer node with upgrade, world interaction upgrade, which is one of these, I think. No, world interaction upgrade, one of those. Don't have that bit yet, so let's make one of those. And let's quickly make that happen over here. This is kind of a little bit cheaty. But it's water that I can't drink. So it's kind of, I've already got water. I've got an infinite supply of water. I've even got a device in my inventory that gives me water. I've got an ended tank full of water. I've got this water sorted out situation, but I wanted to show you this as well. Do I still have that pick? That pick's in there. Yeah, I've still got a pick in there. There we go. Get a world interaction upgrade in there. Good. And we'll get a bucket of water, or 2 buckets of water should I say, and that'll work for that. There might also be a reserve that we can build, a reservoir. One of these reservoirs does require a sentient ender though to make a reservoir. You put 4 of them together and it creates an infinite water source for you that can automatically pick up, but it requires quite a lot of iron, reinforced obsidian, and a sentient head, which requires you to grab a witch, grab an ender, which is an enderman's head and all that kind of stuff as well for making this. Whereas there's a much simpler solution with a transfer node and a mining upgrade over an infrared water source. It works perfectly fine. So there's that. And then we're going to need some apatite. I don't think I've got any apatite in here at the minute. Let's get some apatite from out here. It'll be on this side. Still not showing you the farm. Not yet, anyway. Apatite from here. Okay, so the apatite turns into fertilizer, right? But you take the apatite and then you use fertilizer. Oh, you can see. Dome. Looks pretty cool, I like it. And then you can put that with some sand. So use it like so. And this makes fertilizer, so I'll make a stack of fertilizer to start us off. I will possibly automate this, but I might just do it by hand for now. We're also going to need something that's power based. Well, I've got lots of things that I can use to generate power and send power over, but I don't particularly have a thing that I really want to use right now for it. So I'm going to use something very, very cheap. And whatever it is I've got lying around in here. I've got a Stirling generator. I'm going to use the Stirling generator to start powering everything up for now. And coal. Oh, let's get a fresh stack of coal as well. And that should be it, really. I can start laying it out. Oh, I'm going to need some bricks. Yeah, let's get a stack of coal. I could actually get a stack of like coal blocks or something in there and do something. Or I could do an infinite power source like we've got set up in here. I've just done that so many times now. I don't particularly want to do another infinite power source. It's a bit too much. And stone bricks. I'm going to need some of these stone bricks. And then the rest of the farm blocks are going to be used for making the farm. So let's have a looky over here. If I can remember how to make one, this would be great. So we've got the road leading up nicely up to the entrance, which is good. I might do something with this later. Most of the dirt has now grown grass on, so that's looking good around the sides here. I didn't really leave that there for any reason. I'll just put it down there. Emptied my inventory with the last few bits that I broke up. This is the setup that I'm going to be using, and I might have space for some other stuff as well, because it's a pretty big dome, isn't it? It's a pretty big dome. And I hate doing these by freehand, because you do one thing wrong, and the whole thing goes wrong, and you've got to look at it, wow. So doing the Schematica version just is a really simple version of getting a very nice finish. You only have to make it once, and then you can use the schematic to do it again and again and again. And I like it a lot. I like the way it hits the edge of the chunk there as well, which is cool. I like that as well. And that it fits perfectly onto my speedy path here as well. Even though I'm flying most of the time. It's cool. Okay, so anyway. The thing with the farm, right? It needs a dirt layer on the top for planting stuff. And underneath that layer, so on this layer, it needs a stone brick, or a brick that's the same type as the farm blocks, right? So we end up with this across here, and then dirt on the top of it. Oh man, that's not how I did it, like that. And then dirt on the top of it, okay? Now, the farm itself can go through that. The farm blocks themselves can go through that. So I will arrange those here. And I think it's a 3x3, so I'm going to do a little 3x3 here, like so, and then it would be stone bricks in the radius all the way around it, and we'll figure that radius out soon enough. Right, first of all, let's build the main thing. So just doing these for now, yeah, just to show intent that that's how it's going to work, and that will then mean that the farm reads the blocks it's attached to as part of the farm as well. It won't actually physically do this next level. If I put dirt on top of here, it wouldn't actually do it. Well, at least it didn't do in previous versions. So I think I'm going to put my Stirling generator and my farm controller on here. So I'll put a farm controller there. I think I'll have my Stirling generator is going to go on to a gearbox, which I'll put on here. Let's put it right smack bang in the middle. Why not? And then we could also do the valve and the hatch. But I'll do the valve at the bottom. So I'll do hatches. I've got to do the hatches on the underside as well, really. So the rest of this level now just needs filling in with normal blocks. What we're going to do is we're going to end up with 4 layers of 3x3. Okay, 4 layers of 3x3. And during those layers, there should be hatches and valves and all that kind of stuff. As you can see, multi-block is too small. It must be at least a 3x4x3. So 3x3 is this size, and then a 4 on the end. Now we're going to put the hatches in. I'll put one there, input and output. I'll do it like that. That's nice and easy. And I'll put the valve right underneath here. Why not? And then fill those up, and this should turn into a multi-block structure. If I can remember my forestry farms, yes it is. There you've got a band across there now which works. And the band is on the same level as this as well, because there's no point having dirt on this band, dirt above that section. You may as well use it. And this means that I can come across and put a lever on it, and also restock it with charcoal or whatever we're going to do. Let's start building that up for now. That should do for a little while anyway. I can access the farm and add water, and it'll do trees, and I'll do fertilizer in there, and yeah, I think that's about it. So let's get some water and show you this little trick before I get some dirt and cover it all over. Water. Let's just put the water over here. If I've got the saplings on me over here, actually, I might be able to do that while we're setting things up. Let's see. Let's start with a couple of oak saplings. Nice and simple to begin with. And dirt. I got an awful lot of dirt because I've been making lots and lots of cactus. Got lots of cactus making lots of dirt in my factory at the minute. And it's been doing it without an unbreaking shovel or an unbreaking mattock. So we got lots and lots and lots over there. Let's go back to sleep. I'm thinking of moving my bed as well now. I've taken almost everything out of the downstairs area down there and brought it up to the AE system up here. And I'm thinking about emptying this room and putting the power supply in there, the big reactor. I'm going to put in that reactor into the back end of the ship. So it actually feels like the back end of the ship has got a power supply. Because at the minute these just go straight into the ship itself. They don't have any engine space there. Not engines whatsoever. But it's okay. It's okay. I don't think we get infinite sources, do we? Oh, no, we don't. Okay, well, we can sort this out still. Let's go with this. I want to put this on here then. Yeah, and we'll put this on top of that. Do I happen to have any of those cables? No, I don't. Alright, never mind. I'll have that. And so we'll put that around it down here. So we can have a water supply in here like this. So the first water supply I'll put under it because we can't make an infinite supply. And then I'll put that into there. Okay. I need some nodes and I need another bucket of water. I was doing kind of vanilla infinite water sources. And obviously in this pack we don't get vanilla infinite water sources. We're lucky that we get a water source at all. It's in the desert. You would think it would evaporate. And what was the other thing? We got that. I need a bit of piping. A bit of piping. Should I type it in? Would that be quicker? Pipe. Yeah, let's type it in. Pipe. I've got 2 pieces left. Just enough. Awesome. Okay. And then we've got to cover this whole thing over with dirt. And it'll grass around the areas that it's not going to produce from. Put that in there. Okay. And then we put the world interaction upgrade in there, and that should start collecting water. Yeah, it'll start collecting water as though water's an infinite source. So it'll infinitely collect water from there, and then put it into the farm. There we go. So it will infinitely put water into the farm from this little setup, which is a little bit cheaty, but oh well, it's good. It's good by me. I'm happy with that. Okay, and oh man. Now I've got not enough grid power to fly because I've got another production sorted. So there is a disadvantage. Now I've got a production thing, which means I'm using 20 power on various bits and pieces around the place now, so I can't fly anymore. which sucks. Sucks to be me. But still, we will continue. Let's put those in here. It's that one. This one is for the input for the supply. This one's then for dirt. And then this is the output here. Okay, and it should, in theory, start placing dirt around. There we go. So it will start farming for me, look. It's going to place trees and dirt wherever it can. So over here, we can carry on doing this all the way out. And it will start registering that this is part of the farm. And start placing the dirt for me on the top of these as well. Okay, well, it's all set. It's all working. All fine. Putting those in there. It's now showing out apple oak saplings, right? Once the saplings grown and new saplings arrive through the forestry process, it turns it into forestry saplings, which we'll go into more detail about a bit later on. Maybe this series, maybe another series. It depends, really. I've done bees and trees a few times before for forestry. They are fun to do, but it's a very time-consuming for very little reward, so we might not do it. But as you can see from the layout, this is kind of the maximum layout. I just added as many stone bricks as I could around until it stopped planting dirt. And it stopped planting this dirt, which is actually known as humus. The humus is being produced. We used to have to make it ourselves, and then this... I think we had to make it ourselves and then put it in. And then there was water and dirt combination made it for us now instead, which means the whole farm's fully automated. All I need to do is put something to input and output. So I'm going to output things from this section here and input dirt. So I'll put the dirt into there. There's also, you end up with sand. When the dirt needs replacing, you get sand as the byproduct. You also get the saplings, of course, which need to go back in. And then the oak wood and the apples, depending, of course, on which tree type you're doing. Now, this is nice and simple in the middle here of my dome. Looks perfect for the centerpiece of the dome. I'm glad about that. But I also have quite a large area of space either side of the dome as well, don't I? An area like that I was using this kind of stuff for previously. Now, if I have some kind of glorified or glorious power supply down there somewhere, maybe even using charcoal, maybe even a charcoal generator of some kind, to generate power for some various tree farms, I could set up another couple of these things in and around this area as well, and hopefully that would then bring us a glorious tree farm under the dome to symbolise that place that we went to in the last episode. The one city of domes. I'm actually thinking about going to the tech city and bringing back one of those buildings with me in the same sort of schematica style. But I've got a lot of building to do this weekend. I want to build my factory out so that we can start filling it with all the various techie things that we're going to need to fill it with for the Industrial Craft 2 and the Space Age stuff that we've got coming forward to look forward to as well. So anyway, enough rambling. I think I've passed the time now, so it's fed up time. Time to leave me alone and go and watch somebody else. Thank you very much for watching me today. I will see you in the next episode of Forever Stranded very soon. Goodbye.